Yo, what's up, everybody? Hey, I know a lot of times reality TV shows get a lot of flack, you know, and rightfully so. But there's very few that I've come across lately that have, very few that you can come across that have its humble beginnings, its humble process of what reality TV should truly be about, right? So of course you have a lot of the mom shows and the adoption shows and things like that. But I'm going to talk about today about a reality TV series, and the name of that series is called Relative Race. If you haven't seen it, I'm going to drop some gems, right? And so you know how I do. If you're new to Black Men in Suits, Urbane Nation, the Uncut Truth, what you truly understand is that what I do here is I talk about some of our current events, current things, current topics, and things that's going on in our society. But I ball those things up into some realities of how, especially as men, you know, most definitely us as black men, right? But as men, it relates to us all, but definitely as black men, how we can see these things into our realities, our experiences, and how we should navigate our life in a better operation than what has been put, what has been typecast on us for what society expects us to act. Most preferably a mannerism that is very genuine, respectful, humble, and authentic. But I want to talk about this reality TV show that I'm referencing to is called Relative Race. Let's get started. So I want to talk about that. If you hadn't seen it, I tell you, you should. And so what I'm gonna do here today, very briefly, is I'm gonna talk about certain elements of it, and talk about some of the importance of the show itself. I'm your host, MJ, and welcome to your 2024 Black Men in Suits episode. We back. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, man, let me tell y'all, it's been a while, right? It's been a while, but we back. We back, live and in charge. I'm gonna do a separate episode about the hiatus that I've been on. Just some of the processes that we wanted to go with going into the remainder of this year and forward. But this episode here is about a reality TV show that I ran across. Now I've seen it for maybe 4 or 5 years, but the show actually has been going on for almost 13 or 14 years. It's like 13 seasons. It's called Relative Race. So here, when I do these particular episodes about a movie or reality show, just know that, I don't do any spoilers. So it's not like I'm going to tell you in-depth details about the show. What I do is, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to talk about some of the basics of it and what the producers are doing, uh, where I see their angles being at, and as I watched however many episodes, or where I've been at, where I'm at currently, what I'm seeing, but then also how I relate that to the uncut truth, Black Men in Suits, Urban Nation, when it comes to the miseducation of the black man in our society. So what I want to start off at is this, man. If you had not seen the show, haven't heard of it, you need to go check it out. I warn you, in high vibrations. I mean, in my opinion, right? Now, some people may find it triggering, but to me, in high vibrations, I find it that if you want to escape certain realities, certain low vibrational realities, that makes sense, and you want to tap into something that is very heartfelt, emotional, something that, if you've been needed to kind of cry, but you just didn't know, but you didn't want to show your emotions to other people or whatever situation you're going through. If you want to be able to sit back and relax to something that just really moves your emotions, and this goes for men and women, right? Check it out. If you're also one of those people who think that men don't show emotions, men shouldn't show emotions, etc., 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 this show right here will introduce you into the uncut truth of realities of the human vessel. So, and there's a lot of men that's on this show. A lot of brothers and sisters, to be exact. There's been a lot of brothers on here, but that's expected, right? Just given the dynamics of it, and we'll get to that in a second. But if you're a person that you've never seen men show their emotions, if you walk through your life and you've never seen a man show his emotions, this is a show that you need to chime into and watch and check it out, because I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You will ultimately be renewed. There should be some kind of level of renewability, or not say ability, but some renewable processes in how you think. And so again, the show is called Relative Race. The premise of it is that, the two words put together, relative. With relative, the show dynamics is that they take people who have either been in foster care for a lot of their life, all their life, whatever the case may be, and these people are on a journey to find long lost relatives that they've never seen, never heard of, some that they may have heard of, but they just never seen. You name it. Again, this is 13 seasons. And the way they compiled it is that there's, they turn this into a particular race. There's, there's 4 teams. And there's always 2 people to a particular team. And the way the stories are set up is that the teams are put at random. So sometimes the teammate and the members are people that know each other. They may be best friends. They may be people that know each other from college. But most of the time, I'm guessing, well, I'm coming to find out that a lot of the times, most of the people are just strangers. They are just people that the producers put together based off of their uh, geographical needs and processes through their race. But a lot of times there are people that are adoptive siblings, people who have been adopted together by the same parents, and those two people need to find their outside relatives. Man, the show, when I tell you, is next level. Again, it's been on 13 seasons, so it's been on for a very long time, longer than the average reality show. Way longer than the average reality show, and with reason, right? Because once again, going back, the show's premise is that they help people who have been adopted or been in foster care or been, whatever the case may be in these people's lives, that they have not seen a long lost relative in 10 years, 20, 30, 40, and in some cases 50 years. They put these people together and they put them on a journey. Oh man, it's a beautiful sight to see. It's very humbling. It's very eye-opening. Even for someone like myself. So, like, again, I'm the person that I know all about, the historical talks about how adoption was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 60, and so on, so on. And I think the reality that for people to truly understand that when you're getting to know a person that you just met for the first time, man, it's essential to ask questions so that you can understand who that person is. Right? Case in point, if you are someone who grew up with your family all your life and you're out here dating, there's a big chance that you're going to cross somebody who don't know who their mother is, don't know who their father is, and then when you ask for the questions, you find out why they don't. It could be, and again, the dynamics may be where they don't know their biological father, don't know their biological mother. And then again, as you, not prying for information, but as you getting to know a person, that person reveal these things to you just based off of the genuine and organic conversations that you guys are having. This is why this is important. Because if you meet someone like that, I promise you, it would explain their certain behaviors that they have towards you, what they have towards other people, and so on, so on. Right? Because you just never know what another person's childhood was like or what they've been through. And that experience is everything to them. The experience in itself is everything to your children. And so there are so many different, there's so many different episodes and so many different delivery of the dynamics where you're going to see a lot of young brothers and a lot of young sisters really show their emotions, and just be vulnerable. And man, it's a beautiful thing to see, especially with with everything that's going on in our society now. It's a very beautiful thing to see and to hear that, you know, there is some kind of production out there, especially with the reality show, that is focused on bringing families together, bringing people who love each other, you know, or know of each other, bringing them back together. Man, it is good. It's good. But once again, like the show is called Relative Race, and again, one channel is on. I know it is on. The channel that I watch it on is like my Amazon TV, you know, from the Discovery Channel. But I do know that the head company for this channel is called the BYU University, Brigham Young University. So check that out. But it's called Relative Race. You should be able to find it. I don't recommend watching on any platform that's going to show you a lot of commercials. I mean, you can if you want, but my point is that there are certain elements of it that you just don't want to miss. But yes, Relative Race, and it's on BYU TV or Roku TV. You just put in the numbers, the letters, and it will pull up for you automatically. You know, so I mean, yes, man, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I tell you, I don't want to spoil it, right? I don't want to keep this too long, so I don't want to spoil the show itself. But I tell you, it's a must see. It's a must watch. If you need something where it's kind of like you want to kind of get away from the toxic stuff that they put out on social media, reality TV shows, and just mainstream media in general, it's one of those shows that I think they have done an excellent job with their entire production. The entire production has done a great job. So yes, check it out, watch it. You can find it on BYU TV, Brigham Young University. If those who want to understand what that means, that's what it is. It's, when you learn what BYU is, they have a Pacific, they have a broadcast channel with their university, and I think if I dive into the dynamics of it, I think it's just a part of their genealogy program that they have there at the school. But look, it's next level. It's next level, in my opinion, and that could be premature saying, and that's only because, you look, just in comparison to 80% of everything else we have now on mainstream media, there's not much that we see that have, just positive intentions, positive vibes. And again, I have a few more that I will talk about in brief as well. But again, that's it. So as I bring it into my closure, and I'll talk about how this affects us as black men in our society. With a lot of premise of the show, it really dives into how people, or just say relationships, right? How people in relationships were, and even to this day. And I think it's going to get worse. I'm gonna briefly talk about that for a second, but then I also want that to be another episode. But one thing about the show that it emphasized on is the decisions that young adults were making. You were making adult decisions as children. That's what you will come across a lot in the show. And yes, they have a lot of brothers and sisters on there. A lot of them. Now we have to put this in context. Let's just dive into some depths of, just imagine the slavery aspect of what is it known from that. You get what I'm saying? And just fast forward to just the overall all collective races, or where children were being put in, where unwed mothers were put in homes. And it didn't matter the race at that time. But again, you can dissect certain concepts, in your mind. Like you can just sit in silence and just think about what that particular situation or situations may have looked like for disunfortunate people who didn't have a choice, people in slavery, right? Think about that. But during those times, unwed mothers, it didn't matter the color, because the way the social projection was on the society, especially in the United States of America. This is worldwide, but especially in the United States of America. If girls got pregnant at 15 in those days, they took your ass to an unwed mother home. If you weren't married, they took you to an unwed mother home. So it's kind of like, you think about like how that pastor, that 40-year-old or 50-year-old, 60-year-old pastor is praying on that 18-year-old daughter of somebody in his congregation. You think about the manipulation of that kind of shit. Come on now, the predatory behavior. But okay, again, that's another subject. But we're gonna stick on hand right here. But I'm just saying. So you think about that, and and I'm sure there are a lot of brothers out there now that may, if they really sat back, if you guys sit back and think about some things that happened in your childhood, that you may have questions about. Look, I suggest you do the search. You do what it takes. You do a genealogy test. Just something, like if there's something that just crosses your mind that you think about, it wouldn't hurt to do it at all. Because I promise you, you never know. I mean, if you can think back into your childhood and you have some questions, like if there's some things that were just like questionable, I say take the chance on and looking up any genealogy site. I mean, I would recommend maybe 2 or 3, just to be as accurate as you can be as possible. But nonetheless, if you had that kind of childhood and there were some things that may be questionable for you, if you was wilding out when you was 15, 16, 17, and 18, and women that you remember at those age, and you don't have a recollection of them now, like where they are, like you don't have any communication with them, you don't know what, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. Like, let's just keep it 100. I recommend doing that at this day and age where you are now, no matter your age, because it's one of the main reasons why a lot of these people were able to be connected with those family members, because somebody in that family did that. No matter who it was. It may not have been, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody in that family did that search did that process, and when they got the matches, I'm sure the company uh, did the footwork on the rest of the things. But yeah, there's some things in your childhood that's questionable. Take out the time and do it. Won't hurt nothing, but you can gain a lot. You know, but yeah, that show is one of the best ones out there on the market right now, and I recommend you do it. Recommend you watch it for sure. But most importantly, black men in our society, man, I recommend you guys, if you have something in your past that you've thought of, do it. It will truly uh, make you complete, change you into a whole new person. Because everything we do in our life is tagged to us. Every decision that we make is tagged to us for the rest of our lives. Especially when you're dealing with other human beings, and you put other human beings into your mind, your heart, your body, and soul. You know, those things, those people, your relationship with them, your actions with them, carry you for the rest of your life. It really does. So yeah, you have to be mindful and careful of that, and then also teach. If you have children, teach them that. Teach them to understand that. You know, I mean, here briefly, just want to talk about something that, like in the next 10, 15 years, it's going to be interesting to see how this society plays out, especially come with the youth. That at that time, these children that are 10 years old now, 5 years old, when they're 15 and 21, oh my God. Or 20 and 31, you get what I'm saying? Like, or 27, like the things that are going to be exposed, or that is going to affect them, is going to be next level. You know, because the way children, you know, the way the human species is, and the way we want to live our life, the way we want to just be represented and accepted, there's going to be a lot more unacceptance that's going to go on. You know, it's mainly due to just a lot of the activity that is being celebrated now. And catch that on another episode as well. But yeah. But yeah, if you want to feel good show, if you want a show that's a real feel good, man, check out Relative Race. If you want something that you can binge on, that don't have drama, don't have sex in it, don't have none of that foolishness that really blinds you from the story that's being told, and et cetera, check out Relative Race. I promise you, you will not be disappointed.